What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dice House for DCUO commentary. I'm bringing this video here today because, there's been a lot of stuff being thrown out there and being said right now about me, about my league, and everything, and I thought I'd clear it up. To be honest, this whole, split that, some of the guys, a bunch of people leaving after I had to kick a couple people out of the league. It could have all just, died out and went on its own way. Mage Lord, I had no intention of doing a video like this. But, there's just too much bullshit, lies, and twisted truths being thrown out there that, something had to be said. Something had to be said. And shit's getting really out of control now because some other asshat put out a video. All right, so let's go back a few weeks here with this whole Mage Lord situation. A few weeks back, Mage Lord decides that, for a school project, mind you, he says, for a school project, all right, he's going to do this whole thing where he's quitting the league because he wants to, start up his own league, and he wants to, some other people are going to go with him, all right? But he was still wanting to be cool with me, kind of like he said, he says, like Gravity and Full Metal Heroes are. To my point to that, though, was, I was like, well, why leave the league then? Why not just stay in the league? I was like, we're better off, being together than separate if, we're just going to be cool about things. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, man, I already left. And I'm like, well, that's not, talking to me about anything. That's just, you coming and telling me you're leaving. And then I start, getting other people telling me that, he had people in the league, in my league still, shouting in league chat, telling everybody to drop from Descendo and go join his league. Well, that's not trying to stay cool with each other, so I ended up getting on the game and having a conversation with him and a few other people. I would rather it had just been him, but he wanted others in there, because that's what they do. They get others in there to talk about stuff. But I was kind of glad, though, that they were there, because it got a lot of actual truth out to these people about things. Because Mage Lord was upset because I had removed some people from the league, and I was restricting recruitment on specific roles, particularly controllers, because at the time, we were desperately in need of just, active controllers in the league. I mean, everybody's hurting for controllers out there right now. You can't find a controller out there playing right now because everybody went freaking Celestial. Or they're a DPS. So by the next day, I had already had about 4 or 5 people come to me, and ask if they could come back to the league. And then later that evening, Mage Lord ended up coming back to, this whole, hey, you guys, it was just a school assignment thing I was doing, yada, 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 and everything. I didn't really want to leave the league. I didn't really mean any of that stuff, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, all right. And I told him, I was like, I hadn't had a chance to talk to him one-on-one about it. But that kind of pissed me off, man. You deceive the whole league like that just so you can get a grade. I mean, there's other ways of doing that, assignment. I've had multiple, people tell me they've done that same assignment and they get done it. Then of course, I had a bunch of people in the league also still. They were thinking it was all just a bunch of bullshit that he was spinning about it being a school assignment because, and he was actually trying to break the league up and steal members from it. Which, if you go by what some of his boys were doing, trying to get people to leave to go join his league at the time, it's starting to sound real believable, if you ask me. So yeah, that happened. And I, told Mage Lord, I was like, there's a lot of people pissed off about that right now. I was like, because you divided the league up more than it was before. Because we had a bit of a division, so it was like a lot of the the 1v1ers and PvPers, and then there was everybody else, which was honestly was the vast majority of the league, that was waiting for the next PvP season starting up, to start up before they started getting involved in PvP, because they were all way behind on gear. So, and I told Mage, I was like, you need to, apologize to these folks, because, you got a lot of pissed off people, and that, started off, that boiled down to what, the shit that went down between him, and, he's talked about him, but what went down between him and Zeus in the game. Zeus, was pissed, because, Zeus is big on loyalty, and I appreciate that in him. So, Zeus, was, giving him a hard time about it. And I guess that I wasn't on at the time, but I guess that boiled over from all accounts and everything that I've been told. Zeus went over and smacked Mage around a couple of times in some duels, and that just I mean, if anybody has ever gone over to Fight Club and hung out there for at least 5 minutes, or just been in Metro with a versus chat on, you'll see how these kids they can't take a loss. They can't even really take a win, and, so and it's always about excuses and, oh, you did this or you did that, blah 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 blah. And it just it just boiled over, and to be honest with you, Zeus wasn't the only one in the league that was fed up with Mage and his crowd. There was a lot of people that were, based just because of the way they acted and talked in the league. I've got a strict policy in the league, and it's something that, I've enforced on everybody. And, as I don't allow, any racial slurs being used in the league chat. Whether, typing it in there or saying it in league chat. I don't allow it. I hate that word. There's some people that are comfortable with it. They're okay, calling each other that and everything like that. But, there's other people, Descendo's a fairly good sized league. And we've got a lot of people. We've got people like all ages, creeds, and colors in the league. And, the less, offensive shit going on in league chat, the less you're likely you are to have drama. And so that's what I did. I, said, none of that crap. So, but, these guys were still doing it, they were still doing it. And, I've, got pictures, show it and everything like that. And I did, when Mage's League of Race first came over and joined Descendo and all that, I had to remove somebody from the league for it. And I had Mage in the voice channel with me when I did it, and he was fine with it. He understood that, the guy was out of control. And it was somebody that, like nobody from Erase liked anyway. So everybody was trying to figure out why that Mage had invited that guy to begin with. Anyhow, but so, oh man, I can't believe I got to make this video because kids just spewing lies and freaking idiots, gobbling it up. But so now it boils down to, now we get down to the brass tacks. What finally ended up happening. And Mage, actually leaving the league this time and taking some people with him. One of his guys got in an argument with one of my officers, and all the officer was doing was giving some, some suggestions and all that, stating his opinion about some things in regards to just hanging out at Fight Club all day and not working on improving his tune, because that's my thing, I've got with the league, the league was founded on, constant, working on improving your tune, getting your skill points, getting your feats done, and getting your gear up. And there's a lot of guys that have taken that to heart, and they've gotten their stats and everything have constantly increasing, and I'm really proud of them for it. But because this guy who supposedly he only had 122 skill points, and I know that sounds like a lot to a lot of people, but I mean to some, a lot of the veterans who've been playing the game, it's not, um, and all it was said was 122 skill points wasn't good enough. And I was like, in all honesty, it's not good enough to get all of, like, especially for your DPS innates, because I've done done a video on this before. It takes 155 skill points to get every single DPS innate. So this guy was shorting himself, by 33 skill points for that. Not saying and not saying he wasn't good, and neither was his officer. Was saying he wasn't good. He was just saying, this is not good enough. You go get more and all that. Because, I mean, if you're a beast with 122, just think how good you're going to be with 150. I mean, that's basically the gist of it right there. Well, one of Mage's other guys, took offense to this. Started arguing. Started cussing the officer out. And, it all boils down to just, these disrespectful little kids who, feel like any kind of talk at them or something they might find offensive, that's a personal insult. Just because somebody says something's not good enough doesn't mean that means you're shit. And that's the way he took it. He took it as so if I don't have that many skill points, then I'm not fucking good. Well, no, that's not what he said at all. And I tried, me and a couple other people tried explaining that to him. He wasn't listening. By the time I got on, though, some of the other officers talked about it. They were done with them and everything. They were done. Obviously the kid, until I got on, the kid didn't even talk right to anybody. And then after I talked to him and everything, he started talking sideways at me too. And I was like, it's done. You're done. So I kicked him. And there was another one too running his mouth and all that. I got fed up with him because honestly, ever since Mage's group got in to the league, I had been having to go to bat for them for the longest time with all the other officers in my league, simply because of the way they were acting. Constantly with the N-bomb in league chat, constantly talking trash and arguing in league chat. All the freaking time. It was getting tiring. I was getting fed up with it, and It was just causing too much drama inside the league. It was just causing way too much drama inside the league. And so I said, screw it. You're gone and you're gone. I kicked 2 people out that day. And I went to Mage and I told him, I was like, look, man, I had to kick these guys out. And he asked why, and I told him why. And he's like, okay, well, about this officer? Because I'll admit the officer that was involved in it. I didn't agree exactly with everything with the way he handled it. I didn't really agree with it, but I couldn't really blame him either because, like I said, they've been complaining to me about these guys for like a good month now, and I'm not gonna kick somebody out of the league just because he was at the end of his rope for one day's actions when this other kid's been doing something. This kid's been doing crap like that for over a month now. So yeah, it just wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't going to kick him out, and Mage took issue with that. And then he thought I was just going to invite these guys back into the league. I was like, no. When I make a decision to kick somebody out of the league, I mean that decision's there. When the officers get together and decide that somebody needs to go, that they need to go and they need to stay gone. That's just the way it is. If you're going to be a problem inside the league, I mean, I'm not going. You immediately coming back. That's not going to happen. And I told Mage, I was like, if you want these guys back, you're going to have to take it up with the other officers. I was like, it's not just my decision to make. That's exactly what I told him. And he's going to try and say, he's trying to say, that, I just straight up told him no. I told him I wasn't going to go to bat for him anymore. I told him he was going to have to take it up with the rest of the officers. And I was like, so, that went on and everything, and Mage ended up leaving the league. You know, and I tried talking to him. I was like, look, you got an opportunity here to be in a really good, strong league and everything. Because Sendo's got a lot of potential. Once the PvP season starts, I think we're going to start realizing a lot of that potential. And I told him, so you got a chance to be as part of something that's strong and organized and good, or you can go back to what you had before. And what Mage had before was a bunch of failed leagues. I mean, you think about it. Erase, Soulless Reapers. I mean, how many times has Soulless Reapers been formed up? I mean, he had his chance. He had an opportunity to be part of a strong league, and he decided to go back to what he had before, which was a series of failed leagues. So that's what he did. And I told him, I was like, and I told him, I mean that's not leading, that's following, because that's all he was doing. He was just following his buddies. So, next day or later that day, I start, getting people telling me, say, May just asked me to leave Sendo to join his league. So I sent him a message on Facebook, and I was like, hey man, I wish you luck in whatever you do with your new league and all that, but stop trying to poach people from my league. And he's like, oh, we're not doing that. Well, I've got the pictures, Mage, and I showed him. I was like, don't lie to me, man. I mean, these guys ain't got no reason, to lie to me, about you coming to them. So, and then, they show me, proof of it, and it's right there. You're trying to poach people from the league. And they're still trying to get a couple people out of the league. And it's just, it boiled up from there. And then, and the thing is, all right, like I said, I wasn't going to do this video simply because, up until, recently, it was all kind of kept, in private chats, private conversations and all that. And I was fine with that because, I wasn't saying anything outwardly, openly against those guys at all. But the thing is, and all that, they see some of our private conversations. It goes on in our Facebook group with the league and everything like that. And or somebody, in league chat overhears something somebody says in our league, and they take it back to them and all that, and they get them all fired up, and they get their little panties in a bunch, and they've got to make a comment about it. So and I'm constantly getting tells from his new league mates and everything about this and that. Oh, we're gonna mess you up. Oh, you guys can't get fours now because we're not in the league. Oh, your league's dying. I've still got like around 20 people active every night. So I don't know where he's saying that the league's not active. So still coming down from this cold. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I've got all these other conversations too and all that between Mage and everything. Bottom line, Mage, you telling Hero to stay in his lane, stay in your own damn lane. All right. Nobody has come out and said anything to you or about you in the open about any of this. All right. The only thing I've ever said to you openly about anything was that other night in 5v5 chat when, you're in there, started talking all that hot mess about me, and then you start, talking about how all these kids, quote unquote, are in 5v5 chat and need to get out. Mage, you're 16. You got your PS3 taken away from you by your mom. All right? Don't talk about kids needing to get out of 5v5 chat when you're a kid yourself. Okay? So let's just leave it at that. All right? You going on with your little insults and everything like that. Didn't bother me one bit. But you start opening up your hypocritical mouth talking about kids need to be out of 5v5 chat. You're a kid too, man. Come on. And your videos, these last couple of videos you've done are proof of it. Talking about and crying about, people taking shots at you. Nobody took shots at you. You've taken shots at me. All right? And get it right. Get it right and get it in your head. I don't know who's filling your head up with his nonsense, Mage, but that's you, man. Hero didn't come out to take up for me. He came out to call you an idiot for that video you did. That's all he did. Because that was so stupid as you did that. So yeah, don't be an idiot, man. Oh my God, I mean, you've already done a couple of really stupid things with these videos you've done. But I mean, your best bet right now is just let it die, let it go, move on, right? Concentrate on your league and building up your own members instead of trying to take mine. And Ignis, dude, you know what, Ignis, you are even dumber. I ain't gonna lie. You post that video up talking about, why you left DD. You left DD because I allowed you to instead of kicking you. Alright, bottom line. Alright, I have not come out and said anything to anybody, even in league really, about all the complete and total reasons why I asked you to leave the league. Alright, I asked you to leave the league because you're an embarrassment. You are an embarrassment. Bottom line. That's why. You are 40-some years old, and you're acting like you're 12. You make videos screaming at 14-year-old kids on this game, dude. Alright? You made a video about Tommy Douglas. Tommy Douglas, who's always made a good showing in any Legends tournament I've seen him in, and all that. You made a video just to talk trash at him because he was on FNL. Alright? You go out and you try to start shit. You go out and you try to start drama. You're 40-some years old, man. Grow the fuck up, you infant-minded simpleton. I came to you and I talked to you man to man, dude, and this is how you fucking treat me. Alright? I've never once said anything openly, publicly negative about you. The things that I said in that chat to you were all completely true. Your former league mates that you supposedly never had any issues with and all that laughed when we went to them and talked to them about you and why you acted the way you do. They laughed at you because of how embarrassingly ignorant you act. On our Facebook group, posting pictures of yourself in a green dress, man. Come on. Come on. And now you post this dumbest video you could possibly ever post. You're showing off people's Facebooks and their real names and pictures and shit, man. Good luck keeping your channel open after that. Good luck with that, buddy. Good luck with that. Like I said, Ignis, I didn't really have a problem with you. I knew what you were trying to do, but you were an embarrassment to the league. The way you handled yourself in the game, and especially with the way you handled your YouTube channel. You were an embarrassment. You get on this game and you spend the whole time on it screaming at 14-year-olds, screaming at them and talking shit and throwing out racial slurs. That's not just me making shit up, man. That's the YouTube content you have. Dumbest move you could have made, man. Dumbest move you could have made was coming out and doing this. That was the dumbest thing you could have possibly done. And then you make videos talking about how Vaxton, you're going to sue Vaxton for freaking false claims. Dude, you're going to be lucky if you own your house by the time some of my league mates are done with you. With what you've done with that video. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Mage Lord, you're an idiot too. Like I said, let it go. Let it go. Ignis, I asked you to leave the league like over 2 months ago, and now you're coming out with this bullshit. Why? Because so you can jump on the Superpatriot hate wagon. Just like Mage is doing. Mage, with your... yeah, speaking of which, Mage, jumping on the wagon. Do you have a gag reflex, bro? Do you have a gag reflex? Because I'll tell you what, man. You took Count pretty freaking deep in the comments on your video. You took him way down deep. Going on there and kissing his ass on his freaking podcast, too. Making shit up in your video. Who knows what other bullshit lies you've told him. And don't get me started about counting smile. That's an entirely other video that's coming up. Like I said, folks, it's a new year. It's a new me. I'm tired of turning the other cheek. Y'all want to make up your videos, talking shit about me, making up your lies, and all that. Go ahead. If you think, you can handle the backlash, go right on ahead. You know what? I guarantee you, though, you're going to end up regretting it. You're going to end up regretting it every time you post a video. You talk bad about me or my league. Stupid people, man, playing this game. Mind your damn business, man. Mind your business. And count. Where are you at? I got all these people ganging up on me, man. How come you're not defending me? We're a fellow RPM Network partner, bro. Yeah. Call me a fucking hypocrite again. Anyways, that's it, folks. I know I'm kind of feeding into the drama a bit, but, at the same time, you only turn the other cheek so many times before they both sting. And I'm getting tired of my cheeks stinging. So, people want to fuck around. I can fuck around right back. Because I'm getting fed up with just sitting here and taking it. Been sitting here taking it for like a year now. It's a new year. New way of doing business. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do so by giving it a thumbs up. And give it a share, if you would. And if you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe. Until next time, you all take care. Bye.